Hey everybody, it's a fantastic idea that I'm here tonight. I'm kind of full a little bit of pina coladas, but I'm here. It's going to be big. It's going to be a great time.
Everybody, I'm ecstatic to be here today. I got a lot of fun stuff to talk about today.
Good evening, everyone. Good to be here. It's going to be an enjoyable evening to make fun of Dave while he sits there and drinks.
What up, friends? It's been a little while. Glad to be back as always. Excited to talk.
Oh, well, we're glad to have you back.
Yes.
Man, it's been a while. Actually, it's only been, what, 2-3 episodes?
Yeah. It's actually hasn't been too long since I got back. And good news, some things are in the works that I might be here a little bit more regularly soon. So stay tuned.
Oh, man, that'd be great. I know we miss you on the show. So, well, Zan, what have you been up to in terms of heroes and gaming over the past couple of weeks?
Well, I've been playing some heroes. Took some time out to start working on my grind back up to towards 40. So only got a couple games in because I've had a pretty actually surprisingly busy couple weeks. But got my account back to like level 5-ish or something. Nothing too wild. I was surprised because I'd forgotten completely about the gold reset that you got after if you were level 20. After the wipe, so bought quite a few champions, which was pretty sweet. Other than that, though, lots of league when time has been kind of afforded to me. They in Riot finished their spring split for the League Championship Series, and right now we are in the heat of the 2014 All-Stars Invitational in Paris. So it's pretty cool seeing the top team from each region around the world competing on the grand stage, and basically which equates out to Korea stomping everyone and North America and Europe fighting on Twitch like a bunch of babies at who's better. So it's been pretty sweet. Pretty cool. It's kind of like the video game Olympics, kind of in a sense, but it's pretty cool. It's really really awesome to see things on a stage this big.
Awesome. Josh, we'll go to you. What have you been up to this week in heroes and whatnot?
Heroes leveling up. I'm about to hit level 20, so not too high up there. I have almost all the heroes. I'm just missing Abathur and I can't remember who else. But no, I bought her, or did I? I don't remember. 2 people I'm missing. 2 I won't want to play, so that's probably why. But other than that, I've been playing Hearthstone, trying to rank back up in that after the reset, or the new season, I should say. And a little bit of World of Warcraft, getting back into that. Other than that, that's about it.
Awesome. David, how's your heroes been going? You've been
Well, you know what? My week, I'm pretty sick of Anduin Wren at this point because I got pretty lucky. I got a early edition of War Crimes by Christy Golden. Excellent book. Really reading it. It's very good. But Anduin's like a big part of it, kind of like he was in The Shattering, and I'm so sick of this guy. And then so I'm trying to get away from him. I go to Hearthstone, Priest. I'm like, Anduin. He's like changing my guys, mind controlling it. I'm so sick of Anduin Wren. I can't wait for him to be a hero in Heroes of the Storm, so I can just demon hunter him down to death. And I'm sure he's gonna have his little. I'm sure Anduin's gonna have his little Justin Timberlake skin or whatever the hell he's gonna have. I just want to nail him down, and so that's pretty much my week.
Mm-hmm. He's kind of the Justin Bieber of Warcraft.
He is. I'm so sick.
Send him back to Canada then.
I got
no.
I want him down. I'll be so happy in Warlords of Draenor if Anduin's dead.
You know that.
You could plot twist.
And Ben,
That'd be
you have
great.
some interesting news in terms of your gaming this week, I'm sure, right?
Oh yeah, my gaming totally didn't pick up till last night when I got my Alpha Heroes of the Storm invite.
Yay!
So now I am officially part of the
Welcome
club.
to the club.
Oh, whoa, 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 whoa.
I mean, it's not as if I've had my account for a couple of weeks and totally not totally not gotten its value or anything. Whoops.
Could have passed it on to somebody else for a little while. Is that what you're
Right?
saying?
Yeah, can we share this game? Is that an option?
You're like, I want to get people to play. So now that you're finally playing, and what are your thoughts on it now that you got some hands-on, opposed to just watching, your 80 to 120 hours a week of streams?
I don't know, well, that notebook's kind of big to talk about, but just to sum it up, it's great. Of course, pros and cons come with an alpha. I have a lot of things that I kind of want to go onto the forums and talk about as far as things that can be fixed. Little gripes here and there, but it's great. I'm loving it. And again, my competitive nature has already come out within the first couple of hours after we stopped playing. I stayed up till like 3 a.m. playing last night. And it was already coming out just like it did with all the other games I used to play competitively on teams where I was like raging at like people that didn't know what they were doing and just kind of like trying to pull myself together and just try to get through it. But it's a great fun experience, and I definitely love it. And it's so much better to sit in the client and play it than watch it on Twitch because everything is so much more crisp and just it's good. I love it.
So what you're saying is when me and you were playing last night, you were keeping yourself muted while you were yelling at me?
I wasn't yelling at you. I was muted because I was just trying to follow y'all's lead last night, and trying to knock off the MOBA rust because I haven't been playing MOBAs as much lately while I've been waiting to get in. No, it was good last night. We had good times, and it'll be even better now that I'm a little bit more up to par than I was last night. So
yeah, it's gonna be a great time. I know for me, it's been pretty much Heroes of the Storm. I haven't jumped into Hearthstone at all this week. We've dropped ourselves down to one night a week of raiding in World of Warcraft. We just do a little bit longer of a night. So we're actually getting more done because Thursdays would spend an hour trying to find someone to fill in. And in terms of heroes, I've finally got 2 games played with every hero. So I got the first quest for everyone done. I'm working on 4 games for each of them. And Lily is kind of starting to become my main a little bit.
She's fun, isn't she?
Really?
Yeah, she's a lot of fun. I've been jumping around a lot, It's just it shows how great all these heroes are that, for 1 week you'll play one person, next week you'll be like, you know what, I'll try somebody else, and then you can just get stuck once you get like the good build and you're like, man, this is awesome.
Yep.
So, I mean, it's so much fun. I can't wait till we get more people in. We saw a big not resurgence of people, but like just a large number of people getting into the alpha over the last couple of days, especially being in the CTR guild. We've been talking and, so I have a group up there as well. It's just amazing. And so a few more people came in. I think I signed on yesterday. I had 7 new people on my, the alpha battle tag to play with. So I'm like, man, this is going to be dangerous. So we're gonna get right into the news. Really, the news this week doesn't really center so much around heroes, but a little bit about the podcast and more about like BlizzCon for this week. So the big news for the podcast is I didn't mention last week that Blizzmaster is no longer. So we've moved on from Blizzmaster. It was a great time there, and we were in talks, so we're officially a part of the Catalyst Gaming Media Group now in terms of the podcast network. And, they do a lot more than just podcasts. They're bloggers. They have, like, Raul Mardian, who does machinima and video. So we just want to thank Zia and Seraphis for, taking the time to talk to us and us in the crew. I'm just super excited to be a part of a new network, one that, we have a ton of content coming out from them, more people to kind of pull from in case we're missing someone. And on top of that, if anyone knows Lignar, he was on, I want to say somewhere around episode 12, 13, somewhere in the early teens. He's a part of the network.
Yeah, Lignar is a great guy. I mean, we have to start thinking about like some of these podcasts that are like the Sundering.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost as if I know these people really well, or for some reason or another. Like there's a T-shirt in my bedroom from some sort of thing that I did with these people that maybe we'll be talking about.
Lore Walkers, I think, is from them, right, Adam?
Yeah.
Yes, one of our main pit crew. Actually, I guess at this point he is our main pit crew, low worker Tahu, because Ben has kind of moved on from the pit crew into to a host. So
Hey, we have that bond, and we're always going to have that bond, me and him. So,
but yeah, I want to another quick thank you to them. We're expecting put out a lot of information in terms of our podcast, in terms of our site, and I'm going to start putting up like a bi-weekly, just kind of like I call it a fluff piece, where I'm going to kind of go out there and just do a blog post probably once every other week or so. So everyone kind of look out for that. It's going to be more along the lines of I'm going to call it My Heroes or something along there, where I'm going to kind of create a hero every other week and put it out there. I'm kind of excited about that. It's going to be fun. Also, if anyone out there wants to do any blogging, contact me, Adam at heroesofnexus.com, because I'd like to get a little more content out on our site as well. Kind of, some articles here and there. So let me know.
Okay.
So, and then the other news this week is BlizzCon
That thing
tickets.
I was talking about.
Yes. So 4 of us have tickets to BlizzCon.
Oh.
3 of us will be using tickets to BlizzCon. So
One of us will be hanging himself by a noose shortly in his bathroom.
That may be me.
I don't know which one it is. It's going to be like a murder mystery, but we don't know who the victim
Who
is.
the victim is yet.
Well, how about the people who have the tickets to BlizzCon and will be using it announced?
Oh, no, yeah. So it'll be me, Ben, and Josh. So we're excited to go. In terms of BlizzCon in general, I know we're going to be part of the World of Podcast this year. We're going to kind of join in. That's where I'm going to spend my Friday night for sure. I know, Xantar, you pretty much were one of the 5 last year that kind of ran it, right?
Yeah, so Lignar, Zia. Well, originally it was actually Seraphis and I were the I guess visionaries, and then through Seraphis, Lignar and Medicakes and Zia all came in and kind of made it what it was. I have said this on record many times. They did much, much, much more work than I did, because go figure, it's hard to contribute to planning an event in another country. So, with long distance rates for phone calls and things. And they were absolutely fantastic because I wasn't able to really contribute what I felt was worthy of what they were doing. I stepped down this year from having a level of that way, but I can tell so many stories from that event last year. It was just unbelievable, the amount of people and just how much fun it was. And I know that they're going to just do an amazing job this year at BlizzCon as well. So if you guys can, absolutely go to World of Podcast, because you could not have a better way to start your BlizzCon experience than that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, for sure. Now, Ben, what now that you got your ticket, what are you kind of most excited about in terms of BlizzCon? Do you think there's going to be any big announcements? What are you kind of looking forward to?
overall, I'm probably most hyped for the experience. I've been trying to go for 6 years to BlizzCon, and every year that I get prepped to try to make it happen, something in my life goes wrong, and I can't do it. So this is like the first year where that's actually probably, hey, it's actually going to happen. I have my ticket now. We're setting all the flight plans and everything. So the experience mostly is what I'm looking forward to. As far as announcements go, I am truly hoping we're going to hear something about Legacy of the Void, the last expansion for StarCraft 2. Something a little bit more with Heroes. I swear, if we don't hear something about Cho'Gall for Heroes, you're going to have to hold me back from writing. I definitely want to watch the esports tournaments and hopefully meet some of my favorite esports personalities with StarCraft 2. I would love to meet Day 9. Day 9 is like a huge inspiration to me when I was trying to go pro in StarCraft for a while. So just overall the experience and the little things that are sprinkled in with it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to a lot of the same stuff. I mean, it's my first time going as well. So I'm like super hyped. It's funny because everyone that I know that's going for like the first time, they're like, "Oh, I have to get a ticket if I'm going to go." Anyone that's already been there, they're like, "I don't care if I have a ticket. I'm going anyways." It's like I'm like I wonder if I'm like next year I'll be feel that way.
It's funny just how true that is, and I hope that I get to go, that I can afford to go and do have a ticket, just so that I can be the only person in the entire event rooting for SOS again as he stomps down everybody's Protoss. Because I swear to God, last BlizzCon, I was the only person rooting for him in like the entire place, and then he won the whole thing, and I was super pumped.
Yeah, you were the only one.
It's worth it for that alone.
You were the only one live. I was rooting for him from the state of Rhode Island.
Yeah, everyone's like on the J-Dong hype train, and I'm like, nope, forget it. It's all about this Protoss. It's going to be a first time right here, and I witnessed history.
Not to say I don't hate J-Dong, but I hate anybody in sports that gets overhyped in that way. Just I'm a Red Sox fan, and I hate the Yankees. That's what it's like.
Yep.
Now, Josh, you've been to BlizzCon before. Do you kind of
Yes.
expect the same thing kind of as Ben, or do you expect anything different? I don't know if you're so obsessed with Cho'Gall, though.
I'm excited because I know there's a couple things. It's the 10th year anniversary of World of Warcraft. It's 20 years of Warcraft, so they're going to have to do something big for World of Warcraft there. Either announce something in game or give us something exclusive for Warcraft in our goodie bag. So I'm excited to see what they're going to do there, because World of Warcraft came out in November of 2004. This is November 2014, so that's very close to the 10th year release date. And I have a feeling they're going to announce a new game. Because
Titan?
Possibly, hard to tell what it would be, because they have, I'm sure they'll do, was it Legacy of the Void? I'm sure they'll have that to talk about. Warlords may or may not be out by then. I'm sure they'll touch on Heroes and, of course, Hearthstone's, those features. Hard to tell if they'll talk about Diablo at all, since the expansion just came out. So I feel like it's StarCraft's turn, because their expansion didn't come out. Their expansion came out last year, yeah. So it's time for their expansion to be soon, too.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. Yeah, usually. So I'm excited to see what they do there, and I'm super excited about watching the WCS again. Last year I got to watch part of the semifinals with Mike Morheim. So hopefully this year can top that.
I'm really interested in seeing what they're going to do with the Heroes of the Storm tournament. They've announced that it's going to be there, but they haven't announced any way of either being a part of it or anything. What format they're going to do? Like,
I guess I didn't say how I was going to be in it. I guess I forgot to skip that. No, I'm kidding.
like, I'm not going to go, but I'm going to be in it.
Yeah, I'm just playing remotely. It's over internet.
It's not that big of a deal. They asked me, I said, okay.
I said, all right. If you pay for the plane and the hotel.
Oh, man. So now me and Ben, we were talking, and like we said, 4 of us got tickets. One of us, unfortunately, can't use them. But me and Ben have come up with a way that David will be able to go. I think, Ben, you
What?
Yeah.
All right.
Ben,
So
I'm going to leave it to you to explain it, because you probably remember it better than I.
this experience is going to be a bonding thing for everyone, the podcast and David and his wife. So David, your wife loves you, clearly. She supports what you do. So what needs to happen is your wife needs to go to BlizzCon with you. And in the event that the kid is born early, we can then make a ceremony about it and bringing in all the cosplayers, and we can then praise the child to the Burning Legion and, kind of bring it into the family of Blizzard officially. And that would be like making history, a baby born at BlizzCon.
And it gets dual citizenship.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, like, I'd love to have all of your national debt.
See, I forget if we were talking about it on the show last week, but when we were talking about the healthcare and how long it takes to get anything in Canada, you said it was like 9 months for a heart surgery. So we don't want your baby to be born 9 months after your wife goes into labor. So it might work.
No. We certainly don't want 9 months after labor. I actually did manage to. And by the way, for people who are going to get BlizzCon tickets, I actually was able to get BlizzCon tickets 50 minutes after they went on sale.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because it's basically because what happens is that the people who had signed up for tickets, like some of the people didn't actually go through with their credit cards. so I was able to get one at like 50 minutes after it came through. I just can't do it. I mean, in the end, my wife is going to give birth to a lovely child, and BlizzCon is about 2 weeks before that. So I would love to be there. I'd love to be with you, Adam. I'd love to be with you, Ben. I'd love to be with you, Josh. I'd love to be with you, Zan. It'd be great. But it's just not going to happen this year. So
There will be more BlizzCons.
Yeah, but I heard Chris Metzen delivers a mean baby. Like
he did. Yeah. Well,
he just punches into the womb and just rips it out like a rock star.
And
just,
I don't
And I don't want like a Gul'dan baby. You know?
Yeah, you do. Come on, who doesn't want that?
He just pulls it out.
Actually, I don't want a Gul'dan baby. Now that I think about it,
just pulls it out the stage and goes.
No, I love.
Do you hear me, Alliance?
That's how you kick off the sermon.
I'd love to be there, but you know what? It's okay because I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna be doing the like virtual thing, so it's fine. I'll be able to like check it out.
Yeah.
So I'll be able to watch it.
The home thing has a lot of plus sides.
Oh, it does. I've done it
as someone that's been there and like actually been at BlizzCon. There's a lot of ways that like being able to be at home is a nicer option. One, there was like only one place in the whole venue that served alcohol. And it started serving alcohol at like 10 in the morning. But the people that figured that out, of which of course I was one of, becomes a really big line. So it becomes really hard to drink there.
Well, you know what? You know what's going on right now, Zan, is that for next year's BlizzCon, I got a lot of guilt built
You're
up.
definitely going next year.
Oh, yeah.
You better go.
It's a huge amount. And that's a lot of Pina Coladas waiting up.
That's right.
Getting built up. So next year... Trust me, it's gonna be like It's gonna be like a tiki bar next year.
That's right. He will be a walking tiki bar.
I'm gonna be a walking tiki bar.
You better have the Hawaiian shirt on, the coconut cup with the umbrella in it.
All like Mai Tais, Pina Coladas. That's it. But this year, I gotta take care of my spawn.
Family first. Absolutely.
The spawn is the most important. DNA, man. That's all that's important.
And then, kind of last thing for BlizzCon is we are going to attempt to put together an episode while we're there. I think Friday night, after everything's kind of calmed down from the convention, I'll have my laptop, I will bring my microphone, and we will see what we can do, bringing in David and Xantar if they're not able to make it. So it'll be fun. We'll have a nice live episode from
we'll see. We'll talk offline, and I have some ideas of maybe the Canadian can have his second resurgence into.
Zan can do it.
If anyone can do it, Zan can do it.
If there's any way I can top the amount of beers in which I ingested in the Hilton lobby over the course of 3 days, I am up for the challenge. So
God, the Hilton was such a party fest. It was insane.
Yeah,
Loved
it was madness.
Speaking of, we'll talk offline about this, but I might be able to get us to record something maybe like a Saturday, but it depends if the same thing happens last year.
We'll get something figured out. I'd definitely like to get something recorded while we're there, just because hopefully we'll be getting a whole bunch of information.
Yes.
What are you talking about? We're going to be the only podcast that's actually going to have Dustin Browder and Sam DDA come in and sit down with us while we do it.
You're going to guarantee that? Wow.
Oh, yeah, totally. We're delivering that.
Yep. You can guarantee I won't because then I have plausible deniability.
Yes, that's right. I plead the fifth, I think, is a thing that you would say in America right now.
I'm recruiting Josh to help me on this.
I feel it's.
Yeah,
is that accurate?
Yeah. I need
the fifth.
I need a battle buddy on this one.
No, plead the fifth is when you're guilty. You just don't want to admit that you're guilty.
Okay.
This is plausible deniability where I didn't actually say it. So when people come up to me and say, "Hey, you said Dustin Browder Samwise," I'm like, "I didn't say it."
I know what you're talking about. Like
Ben said it.
I could probably get somebody.
A podcast said it. So, I don't know. David
I know people, so I can probably get somebody, but I don't know who.
We'll see. We'll try. I'll tell you that much. So we're gonna go move on. We're gonna move into our new segment that we kind of started last week from the forums. Don't have a nifty sounder yet because we're just gonna try this out, see if we like it over the next couple of weeks. So basically, we pick up some key things we see people talking about on the forums and just kind of talk about what we feel, about that topic. So the first topic this week is what do we want to see in a score screen that's not currently there? So, your match is over. What information do you want? I'm going to start with Josh. You haven't had too much to talk yet, so what do you want? What are your kind of one, maybe two things you really want to make sure you see?
Well, first, I wanted to go first because I think everyone's going to say these two things. I want to see damage done.
Yep, I'm done.
And healing done for the support. Because I want to know, you can see who's doing what in XP, but I also want to see who's doing what damage and then get an idea of who's actually putting forth the effort. Because you can still get low XP surrounded for your team, and I think, at least it seems like you can get high DPS still. So I want to see what the DPS meters and the healing meters would be, just for fun, basically. I don't care if my DPS is high or low. I think it'd be a cool little feature to see.
Mm. You know what would be cool about being able to see that as part of the score screen is you actually have a way of, like, you know, gauging yourself against other people. You know, if you're both playing assassins and you're way under where they are, you know there's probably something better you can do to tweak your talent build. Right now it's just kind of a feel. Like, I feel like I'm killing things fast enough. Not like kind of the hard data that we like. And also that I would say that almost the people in esports almost need to really, you know, kind of get that figured out.
Yeah, and that brings up something I didn't think about either, is that you can try different builds and see what one's getting you the most, you know, healing or the most damage according to that particular talent build you did.
Mm-hmm. So next we'll say Ben. What would you like to see on the score screen?
Just for the pure seeing it there. I mean, there's back and forth as far as what it could, you know, do for esports, but I want to see who captured how many number of merc camps.
That's a good one.
Pick my idea. Yes. You know, I agree 100% because one thing that you know, I play Gazelle a lot, and it doesn't look like I'm doing a lot because I'm always running around. I'm away from my team, and sometimes I actually get, like, yelled at by my team. They're like, "Dude, you should be here instead of there." But they see the merc camps, but they don't realize I think it's Gazelle going around getting it. At the end of the map, you can be like, "See, that's what I was doing that whole time." You think that it'd be cool for esports, right, Ben? Because it's almost like another stat.
Absolutely. I mean, the more actual statistics we have, looking at the score screen, the more appealing it is as an esport. Because, I mean, right now, it's got okay data on it, and, you know, it's great how it shows you the map mechanics, but it's just not enough to really dive into, you know, who is actually doing what. Because I may not be collecting skulls in the haunted mines, but that doesn't mean that I'm not up top doing destruction while everybody's down below. Mm-hmm. So, and nobody has a way of telling that on the score screen.
Correct. So, Dentar, what are your thoughts on that?
I think what I'd have to reiterate a bit of what Ben's saying. I think what League does with its spectate mode would work really, really well. I don't think really much in and of the I'm just playing the game UI elements really need to change a whole lot because I don't want much there. Otherwise, it gets really, really crowded and really busy. And sometimes simple is good and too much info becomes irrelevant. I think spectating, that's when a lot of information becomes a lot more relevant and a lot more valuable. So I think we'll hopefully at least we'll see a lot of that once the spectate mode comes in. One thing I really want to see, though, I guess it kind of counts as UI that I'm mad they still don't have, and it seems silly that they don't, is smart casting or quick casting. Which is absolutely killing me. Every time I go to play heroes, I hit Q or I hit E, and nothing happens because then I have to click too, and I'm not used to that. Like, I should just be able to press it, and whatever area the cursor's in is where my skill shot goes or something. Like I do that in League, and that's such a really, really quick reactionary thing that can make a difference in a MOBA that it just feels clunky having to click, and I don't know. It just seems like something that we should already have. I know we will at some point, but I want to see that get in here soon.
Mm-hmm. So, David, you know, we're talking about kind of the score screens. Is there anything you think that's missing from the score screen at the end?
Well, I think certainly whatever that you know, the score is for solo kills, like, means nothing.
Right.
I think also
The zero every time right now.
yeah, and I think also, I mean, there's a lot in there that is missing where it comes to like support, where it comes to, how much are you healing, and especially like, how much are you blocking? Like I play Tassadar sometimes, and I've actually been involved in some games where the Tassadar shield makes a huge difference, especially like when you've got about like two heroes going on the other side and three heroes coming on this side, and basically all Tassadar's shield is doing is protecting your own palace. That's actually won me some games where Tassadar's shield is like blocked it. So I think that's a big part of it. I'm a little upset that that's not part of it.
You know, one thing that I was thinking is throughout the game you can look and it tells you how well you're doing XP wise in terms of how much XP you're getting for your team. I'd like to see how much XP you get at the end of the game because unless you hit tab right at the end of the game, you don't know kind of how much stuff you've been doing. In terms of I'm gonna call them peon kills, but being in the area, make sure you're where you need to be to pick up that XP because I think that's like a big portion of the game right now, is making sure you're in the right area and getting the XP that you need to get, opposed to just kind of hanging out a little too much further back. I think that can actually help you with your gameplay because you're like, okay, why was it that I got 25,000 XP this game, but only got 19 this other game, and I was playing the same character, same role, same map. You'd be like, oh, I was just standing outside of range just a little bit. So I think it can help to improve your overall gameplay. It's also funny. I kind of find it, we're talking about, wanting all these individual stats for a game that they've really made sure that it's like team-based. But for me, as much as a game can be team-based, I still want to know how well I did. Because if I don't know how well I'm doing, how am I really helping the team? If that makes sense.
Oh yeah,
exactly. You gotta, for a team game, everyone has to contribute, and if someone's not contributing, then they're not part of the team.
Yep, I agree 100%.
100%. Yeah, because it's just they're fun. When we eventually see esports and they're able to tell us this player's the top mercenary killer for the season. This person's the top healer because he keeps his team alive. It gives you that kind of perspective, and when they're bringing new players onto a team, you can be like, oh well, last year he did this for that team. If he's going to be in a similar role, there's a good chance that he's going to be better than the player that was in that role last season.
But Adam, I mean, to argue that point, I mean, if I'm the best mercenary killer for my spec, maybe that like a big part of that is because the other three guys were so good at like holding off the other, 5 guys.
No, you're correct, 100%. I would agree with you 100% there, actually. Sometimes if your team's not doing it right, then you're not able to get those mercenaries because they're not pushing enough, or the other team just can roam a lot. But it shows that maybe it's not 100% accurate, but it shows that with a good team that you're doing your part in getting the mercenaries. If that makes the correct sense. But I agree with you 100%. It could be your team's actually pushing and holding their lanes well enough that you can do your job. Any final thoughts on kind of what you guys want to see on the score screen?
You pretty much took actually the last one that I had about the whole XP thing, so I'm good there.
I think we're all a lot of us were kind of thinking along the same way. I guess that really leads into our second topic is what we need to see something happen for these people that are going AFK. I think it's going to only become a bigger issue. And yes, we're in an alpha, and the games don't mean as much because it's not ranked, but it definitely takes away from the enjoyment of the game. At this point, when you have like 2 people kind of sitting in camp and they don't get disconnected, because if they get disconnected, at least you're getting that bot in there, and the bots actually aren't too bad. I find they kind of do their job. Xantar, what do you think should happen to players that are AFK?
I mean, it's tough. I think a strike system is the only real good thing, but I think it has to like reset on kind of a rolling basis, because this just happened to me the other day. I was in a ranked match in League of Legends, and I disconnected during Champion Select, which meant I lost one of the games, which was part of my promotional series to go up a division. So it does happen that it is not necessarily your fault. But if you see a repetition and this is happening more than once, then there's a behavior that needs to be addressed. And I think there does need to be consequences for something like that. So I think like if it's happening lots of times, then, start small, start with like a couple day ban, whatever the case may be. And as that rotates, I think they do need to be pretty tough on it. Otherwise it can really, really ruin the experience of the game pretty fast for if people think it's okay to do that. But I think that's the only way I could think of to handle it.
Xanter, are you familiar at all with the system that CS:GO has?
Not in Go, no. I haven't played since
Okay.
1.6.
Okay. Yeah, I was kind of thinking along par with you on that one. They got a kind of similar system. You have to be careful with the allowing people inside of the match, like on their team, to kick somebody else on their team just because it can get overly abused a little bit. But if you get kicked from a match, you have a penalty ban for like you can't join another match for X amount of minutes, and it keeps going up if that keeps happening over and over again, and it'll go down if you're not, and so on. And then if you keep going past those minutes, it actually turns into weeks and months that you're banned from matchmaking.
So it's kind of like it's a progressive thing where it starts off pretty light and then will eventually, cause you to get out of the matchmaking. I mean, that makes sense. You can still play the game, but you can't, affect other people's enjoyment of the game.
Yeah.
Josh, you have any kind of thoughts on the AFKing that's been going on?
Of course, I think there should be penalties for it. I think they should kind of do what Dota 2 does, to where whenever you're AFK and get reported and leave match or something like that, you eventually get put against other players who are doing that same thing, leaving matches and going AFK and stuff like that. So you're playing with other jerks that do that. So you have to play a few matches and stay throughout the whole duration to get out of those playing with those people.
Let the deviants play together.
Yeah. Only thing that sucks right now, since there's I'm guessing only a good couple thousand of people in the beta or alpha, it's hard for them to implement anything like that. And since it is an alpha, it's hard to tell until they get fully disconnected and then replaced with AI, it's hard to tell if their game froze or what. But I have been in matches where this person who's doing the least amount of XP in game, had the most deaths on our team, saying, "Oh, our team sucks. I'm just going to stop playing." And he just went and hung out in the I forget what it's called.
He
But
just hung out and took the XP at the end.
Yeah, he just hung out at the in town. Actually, where you start off at, I forget what it's called for some reason. It's slipping my mind. But he just stopped playing. So it's like, well, he should get in trouble for that instead of
instead of still getting
wasting
what
our
everybody
time.
else got in the end.
Yeah.
David, have you experienced that problem at all, or do you have any ideas?
Well, my biggest issue is not so much the guy who's like bailing out. At that point, it's more like the guy who's the kind of like 2/3 of the way through the match. He's like, "Oh, GG, that's it, we're done." And it's like, no, dude, we're actually pushing mercs like on bottom. Why are you GGing? Because we're just behind and black cards. I got a bigger problem with that kind of thing. So I think from my perspective, I don't think there's really a way to punish it, at least at this point. I think it's just like you have to. It's a kind of a meta deal to deal with jerks, because there are people who are just like, "Oh yeah, you guys suck. I can't believe you guys didn't get the eye and black cards bay right away." It's like, you all know, because we're actually like, working the mercs, we're like trying to get it. And it's like, no, you guys suck, right? That kind of thing. And I think it's more of a meta thing. I think a lot of it is, it's a very small population of people right now in alpha. So, you have to accept the fact that like some people have no clue what they're doing.
Yep.
And, and that's the way it is.
Well, and the people in the alpha right now are way, way, way better behaved than what the huge majority of players will be once this goes public. Like the people that are in there now are the good guys, the podcasters, the friends of staff. And
not necessarily those.
And Ben. No, I'm just kidding.
there's a lot of people in there that really have no clue what they're doing.
Right. But but I mean, you're far. The majority of people that are in right now have good attitudes, like just by nature of the types of people that they would get into the alpha. So they need to have something in place because it's going to get toxic fast. It really, really will.
See, I actually kind of disagree with you, because I thought like when we all were first in the alpha, it was way more toxic than it is now. I think it's actually a little bit better now than it was before.
Because you know what it is there are a couple people that I felt were very toxic, and I don't remember their names at all. But when there were fewer people, you were getting that person a lot more often. Like, there was one person who I probably got paired with 3 times in one night, and he was just, like, completely, like, yelling at people. He's like, oh, don't you know how to play this game? It's like, dude, it's been out for, like, a week, And then, you get into streaks. I felt like you got streaks of toxic player at that point. And as, like Dave said, the more people you're getting, the less likely you are to get these couple of people that are there. And I think a lot more people are joining the game now, are like just excited to be in it, and they're like, I want to be in this game because League of Legends is so toxic. I don't want to be a part of that one. And I've talked to a couple people who were like, oh, I didn't feel like League of Legends was all that toxic like they were saying. And those, I think, were people like, I'd say like 9 out of 10 of them were people who actually never got up to ranked mode. So I think we're not going to see the true toxicity that could occur until ranked mode comes out, because that's when people really get.
That's when
aggressive.
people care.
Yeah.
Like that's when like things matter. Like, I turn into an angry dude in ranked.
And we're gonna throw this out there. The guy that David described with the Blackheart's Bay story, that's not who I am. So I get very competitive, but that's not who I am.
Is always nasty. That's the whole thing, right?
It's a rough battleground, but that's good because it's going to promote competition.
Well, and I think what they need to do is, like, if they have a reporting function similar to League, where it's got like different things you can report them for. But I find the problem with League is there's too many things, and they need to treat them differently. And if they treat different things differently, like if they could classify like was disconnected from the start, and you could do that, and it would take more of those to earn a ban than like crappy attitude or gave up with, fit 10, 15 minutes in, so that like the dude that David is talking about that just gives up because they're behind, even though realistically the match is only going to go another 5-10 minutes. So what's the problem? If you can classify that differently and punish specific types of behaviors harder, I think that might be kind of an okay way to go, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, right now, the worst player, honestly, like, even worse than the jerk guys who are like, you suck, Dave, because you're not doing this properly.
Yo, I didn't mean it. I was just angry.
No. Yeah, Zan, I know. No, Zan, I know you think I suck. It's fine.
No. No.
But, I mean, like, the worst guys are the guys who are, like, halfway through the match when it's still winnable on each side. And they're like, GG.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, you know what? Yeah, they got one Blackheart's shot with the GG. You guys suck. And it's like, no, you have no idea how this game is being played.
I've had matches where I've been
why don't you just like pull it up?
Yeah.
Suck it up, dude.
Yeah, man. If watching All Stars this week in League, trust me, there have been plenty of turnarounds in that, and that's stuff with money on the line. That's stuff with hundreds of thousands of people watching.
Yeah, I guess, the problem right now is that we've got 2,100, maybe 5,000 people, and you got about 1,000 people who think they know how this game works, and they don't.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what it's hard about playing Thursday and Fridays, because that's when they invite people in. You get those people coming over from League and Dota thinking it's, I'm just going to push this lane and not move to other lanes and help with team battles. Then you get those jerks in there who's been in it for a while, be like, what the F are you guys doing, you noobs, blah, blah, blah. It's like, those are the jerks you don't want to play with.
Mm-hmm. I actually forgot to kind of put this into any notes or anything like that, but I'm just going to kind of move on. But one thing that I noticed on the forums as well that that was put out was that they were talking about the Cursed Hollow curse, and how they're thinking about making it so that way the turrets stop firing but are still at whatever health they're at. They don't actually lose half their health. I'd like to say that it's thanks to us, because we've said that probably like 4 or 5 times on this show.
We've said that since day one, that Cursed Hollow was like overprimed.
Mm-hmm. So just to kind of bring that up real quick before we kind of move into our next segment, I just thought I can't wait till they actually push that out to the servers to try it out and see if what we thought was correct, because that's kind of how it felt to me. So you guys think you guys, I know David and Xantar, I think we've talked to a couple times, but I don't know if Ben was here. Do you think that's going to help with that balance there?
I definitely think it would help, but I think there's a little bit more that they could do. Personally, I think the curse... I love the idea of the map. I love Cursed Hollow. It's my favorite map. But I think the curse is too long. There's a little too much that happened, because... And I played... I don't know what it was. All day when I played it today, I had Cursed Hollow probably at a 75% ratio of all the maps that I played.
Yeah.
I know the feeling.
There was a couple matches where we went a couple of curses, and then there was one match where we contested. We were both at 2-2 tributes, and we were fighting over that last tribute. Either one of us was going to get it, and like we fought over it probably for about 4 minutes straight, just fighting over that one tribute. And as soon as it happened, that boom, match was over. That one tribute. Mm-hmm. So I think that's a little too quick.
Yeah, for sure. That has always been our thing. Is it's too strong. We like the. I say we, but I think you guys would agree with me that we've talked about it before. Is kind of the escalating number of tributes needed to get the curse after the first one, where you go from 3 to 4 to 5. So it kind of gives the other team a little bit of leeway in getting, kind of getting back in the game a little bit, but not too much.
Yep, I agree with that.
Okay, well, that'll do it for our From the Forums, and we're going to head directly into our Hero Spotlight of the Week.
Woo!
This is the Hero Spotlight.
Now, this week, we are going to be taking a look at the Dark Prelate Zeratul. Now, unlike every other week where David gives out his lore knowledge and just preaches all the information, he hates Protoss, as anyone who would listen to our Tassadar episode would understand, because he just doesn't want to talk about him. So
I really have no interest in Zeratul or Tassadar, so I'm going to pass this off to Adam.
Yeah, so it'll be me. So mine's going to be kind of, short and sweet, little basic information, let you know where you can find the majority of the information about him, and because all of his stuff is pretty much in-game. So we first meet Zeratul in the original StarCraft, and his basic job in the story is, he's a Dark Templar. They're a caste or a sect of the Protoss who are kind of on the outs at this point in time. And Ben, please correct me if I'm wrong on any of this. And so they're kind of looked down on from the the High Templars, because from what I remember properly, is the way that they use their powers of the void. It's heretical. I don't even know. I'm making up words here. So within the story, he comes across High Templar Tassadar, and he is actually the one who kind of talks Tassadar into kind of working together against the Zerg, which leads to him basically becoming, I think, one of the primary heroes other than Tassadar in the game, especially when it comes from the Protoss angle. He does things that he accidentally gives up the location of Ire to the Overmind, which kind of leads to the whole protection of Ire, the big battle over there in the game, and then kind of gets the Dark Templar back into the normal society of Protoss. He then is also kind of in Brood War. He ends up killing the second Overmind and the Dark Templar matriarch, but kind of being manipulated by Kerrigan, and he kind of goes off on his own after that. And so far in StarCraft 2, we've kind of just seen him in terms of, he's kind of putting Jim Raynor on the right path in terms of what he needs to do, and in fact telling him that he needs to protect Kerrigan, that she's going to actually be good for the galaxy with the Xel'Naga coming. So he doesn't have too much, I think, in terms of story, although it is tons of fun being able to play him in StarCraft 2 Wings of Liberty in the little kind of mini mission. So if you haven't played it, go and play it. And go back and play StarCraft 1 and Brood War and see the story for yourself. Zeratul is definitely one of my favorite characters. I would definitely say he's kind of very roguish, and I think that's what the Dark Templars are. They're cloaked all the time and everything like that. I think we're going to see a huge push on his story come Legacy of the Void, because we're going to really see kind of what he's been up to, what the Protoss is going to do to stop these Xel'Naga. And with that, we're going to get right into his abilities in Heroes of the Storm. He is an assassin character, which means, he gets in, gets out, and he does damage. Xantar, why don't you start off with his heroic trait?
Well, so Zeratul being an assassin and being a dude with some, blades on his arms, of course, he wants to get up in your face and hurt you a lot. So his passive ability is his permanent cloak. So Zeratul automatically cloaks himself when out of combat for 2.5 seconds. Now, taking damage, whether AoE or targeted or a skill shot, takes him out of stealth, as does casting an ability and hitting. If he casts an ability and doesn't hit anything or mounts, it doesn't take him out of his cloaking. And this is a key component of basically everything he does and how he functions, because if you're just getting hit, he ain't going to last too long. So you need to be very careful about where you're going and who sees you do it.
Mm-hmm. And then he also has a cleave attack, which deals damage to nearby enemies, so not just one single enemy at once. It's enemies within a certain range. It'll do damage to them.
One of his other abilities is Singularity Spike. He flings the Singularity Spike towards the target, sticks to the first enemy it contacts, and deals damage after 1 second and slows the enemy by 40% for 3 seconds.
Yeah, and one of the key things, I gotta say, I haven't played Zeratul yet, but he's a big problem, especially if you're kind of wandering around on your own, because he can teleport to a target location, and then when he uses the ability, it doesn't break the cloak. So as someone who normally likes to work mercenaries, likes to kind of jungle around, he can show up out of nowhere and just zap you to death.
And his two heroic abilities, the first one is Shadow Assault, where he gains a 25% attack speed, 50% lifesteal on his auto attacks, and then when he's actually attacking, he actually charges his targets. And the second one is Void Prison, where he traps targets for 5 seconds. Heroes, minions, and structures that are trapped are invulnerable during this time, so he can't kill them while they're in the Void Prison, but he is immune to the ability of the Void Prison, so he could Void Prison on top of him and get out. Now, of everybody on the show, I'm actually glad Xantar came, because if I remember right, you played a lot of Zeratul at one point. What are some key strategies to playing Zeratul that the first-time player might need to know?
I think a big thing is you typically want to open in a close proximity to your enemy, and start with W, because W, your Singularity Spike, I think it's called, will slow the enemy, so they'll keep them in range of you melee attacking them. Q is really strong, and definitely I go the talent that empowers it. I always take Vampiric Assault, always. Lifesteal and attack speed are huge on Zeratul. You need to have them, I think, 100% of the time. Anything that basically empowers each hit you do is a massive win for him. For his ultimate, never take the stasis one, ever. just is horrible, and don't do it. Good things happen to or bad things happen to good people. Always take the shadow one because it increases the amount of damage you do, and your life steal on hit. So really, really, really powerful. And every time you auto attack someone, if you're not in range of them, it teleports you to them. So super powerful and very, very good in team fights.
You know, it's funny. Recently, I've seen a lot more people take the Void Prison over the Shadow Assault, which is kind of weird. Like you said, always take Shadow Assault. Always take that one. The one time I saw Void Prison actually make a difference was someone was playing Zeratul, and it was one of those times where you beat up the base a decent amount, and you just wanted to get somebody in there to finish it off. And he, so he cloaks, gets in there without taking any damage. He uncloaks and starts attacking, and the other team kind of comes at him, and he Void Prisons them, and then finishes off the palace. So that's been the one time I've actually seen Void Prison actually make a difference in the game. Ben, what are your thoughts on him in terms of strategy? Have you tried him? I forget if you quite had a chance to do that, or what have you seen in your hours of spectating?
I personally have not tried him yet. I trying to think of a better way to kind of compare him. I think he's pretty much almost where he needs to be at, if maybe just minor tweaks. He's really good as long as the right person's playing him. You can't have some standard, mindset when playing him that, hey, I'm just gonna, hang out in the lane and, play like a normal ranged character. Maybe you gotta really have that lurking mindset and be able to roam and, kind of stalk your targets and jump in and out of the right scenarios. I met up with a random group of players today in the alpha, and we played like 5 matches together after we won our first one, and everybody started inviting each other. And one of them was a Zeratul. He had him down pat. Like, this dude was amazing. He lurked all over the map, was going down between all 3 lanes and jumping in and out of the fights as necessary right when you needed him to. You didn't even really have to like call for him. He knew exactly where to be, and that's the type of player or mindset you got to have when you're playing this type of character. You have to always be on the move with him and be looking out for openings, because if you don't take the openings, you're not going to get them.
Yeah, it's almost like kind of, for those of you who have played League of Legends, to me it feels like you almost have to have that jungler mentality where you have to be looking around the map at all time. One thing, though, that I think would help it is, and I guess maybe not necessarily for Zeratul now I'm thinking about it, but being able to see where your allies stand in terms of health and stuff. So if you see an ally like dropping health, sometimes that's a good idea or an indication that they are in a battle, or that's a place you want to head, because the enemy might be low on health as well that's in that same lane. So I think that's something we're missing that would help Zeratul, kind of in general, as he's kind of roaming around the map. Josh, any thoughts on Zeratul? Not just his strategy, maybe skins, anything like that you'd like to see out there, or the ones that are out there that you like?
Well, I like it. I just like his normal look. I always thought he looked awesome like that. So I've never honestly thought of another skin for him. I don't play him that much, but I do like. I've always liked the look of him ever since I saw him. When he first shows up in the StarCraft 2 cinematic, I've always liked his look. I thought it was pretty awesome looking. Mm-hmm. But his playstyle is pretty fun. He reminds me. One guy I play in Dota 2 a lot. It's almost just like him, named Ricky. He's just a little stealthy guy that pops in and out of combat. Over there, of course, last hit matters. But he's fun. I just don't play him that much, but I really dig him. Like Ben was saying, though, you have to know when to strike. You can't just go in, because he can't really take that much damage, but he can dish it out. But you have to know when to strike with him. It's not really for someone new to this type of game to start playing him right away.
And David, I know we've played, probably of anyone out in Heroes of Storm right now, I've probably played more games with you than anybody else. And you feel that he's still a little overpowered, right? If I remember from the last time we kind of played up against him.
Well, my issue with Zeratul is that he's actually a really, really good stealth guy. He's actually he's a very good, smart guy to play because so much of the game right now is mercenaries and jumping in and getting mercenaries, and he's very good at like kind of stealthing around, waiting until like your witch doctor or your Gazlo gets the mercenaries down to about 75%, and then Zeratul can jump in and just kill them and then take it. So I think he's not really OP, but he's you someone you can play really smart, especially in the meta. It he's I think the first kind of like meta character in this whole game. He's
He
the first meta hero.
he is Zed of this game, and League players will know the legend of Zed. And if you
Yeah.
put him in the hands of a god, it's scary. It's really
Yeah,
scary.
but the thing is,
And-
then though, like he doesn't have to be in the hands of a god, right?
No,
You
I
don't
know,
have
but
like
he
the
doesn't
whole
have
like
to.
idea of leveling like single leveling.
Right.
It's
doesn't
just a
have
guy
to,
you just have
but-
to like park him in front of a merc group.
Right. He doesn't have to, but if he is, he will decimate an entire team and not get killed once. Like the way that you can use double shadows, the way that you can dash around, like the abilities he has, and the high level mechanical play you can have on a character like that, like it's just stupid some of the things you
But
can
do you think? But do you think he's got like Illidan level like ability like that?
He's way technically higher like skill cap than Illidan, much higher.
Like you think so?
Much higher. Much like night and
Zeratul?
difference. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
Illidan's easy
squishier.
next to him.
It takes so much less to kind of kill off
Yeah.
Zeratul than it does Illidan. The skill is definitely a little bit higher there. I'll agree
Yeah.
with him on that.
No, but
one.
that's what you're saying. You're saying it takes less to kill off Zeratul than Illidan, right?
Yeah, Illidan's tanky. He's not tanky, but he's tankier than Zeratul, and Zeratul has to think way harder about when to go in and when not to go in. And then you also run into the problem, like with a Zeratul of just the who am I going on? Who can I blow up fast? And how can I get in and get out and then go back in and all those other things really quickly?
And
So who would you say right now is the like ultimate assassin right now?
Zeratul.
Zeratul.
Really?
Yep.
Higher than Illidan?
Yep.
Much.
And in terms of
Wow,
assassin,
I don't agree with you guys. Sorry.
and I kind of just want to jump back real quick to David's point about him being, the first kind of character out there that I see that can break the meta. And I agree with him 100% on if I understood what he was saying properly.
Yeah.
Where because he has the cloak and he can come out of nowhere, because it's such a important part of the game to grab mercenary camps, and they're going to be there eventually, he's able to catch people by surprise. Where even Nova, I think, isn't as good as Zeratul at killing people as quickly in that specific situation. And when the meta changes, say mercs don't become as important, his role will still be there where he can go around, but he won't be, he won't break that part of the meta in those regards.
So Adam, if we play a game right now after this, if you go Zeratul and I go Nova, and it's Haunted Mines, and then everybody's like playing around with the mercenaries, and Nova and Zeratul combine, we could just nail everybody.
Yeah, you nail everybody as they're trying to do other things because you're able to like pick people off individually.
Yeah, it's the reverse Dr. Gazlo.
Yes, the reverse Dr. Gazlo.
It's the reverse Dr. Gazlo.
Which will, for those of you who don't know what the Dr. Gazlo is, hold on to that thought because I think
We're going to talk about it next week. That's my master plan.
It's a master plan. We're going to try it out a little bit this week, and then we're going to kind of pitch it to everybody. It's we're actually getting down to a very few number of heroes that we haven't spotlit yet. We're going to start coming out with a couple little different segments here and there, but strategy will be one of them. Any final thoughts on Zeratul? Anybody? No, I think we've pretty much cleaned it up.
I Other than Protoss are awesome. I mean,
Other
come
than
on.
Protoss, yeah. I used to play
Yeah.
Protoss, and then I realized I like Zerg better. But this is not a
too.
StarCraft podcast, so we'll leave it at that. Ben, with just like the last time we had a big group, I'm going to leave it up to you to let everybody know where on Twitter all of us can be found.
That's a lot of responsibility again. So you can reach our main host, Mr. Adam Eastwood, at Geek of Random on Twitter. Our lore-loving, time-altering Mr. Drunk Guy, David Troy, can
Hey
be
man,
reached.
Pina Coladas, very nice.
You can reach him at Brulon CTR. That's 2 A's and 2 L's. You can reach Xantar at the Xantar on Twitter. Mr. Josh can be reached Pack1AIE. That is PAKKUAN_AIE. You can reach me at Stacks and Packs. That's STAKSNPAKS. And you can reach the show at the Nexus Podcast on Twitter.
So I want to thank everybody for coming this week. We're going to kind of close it out here. I want to remind everybody that next Friday is our 25th episode. So come see us live here at twitch.tv/Heroes of the Nexus. Anyone who has put in for the contest, we will be announcing the winner on that date as well. Anyone who's either live or listening to this on Saturday or Sunday, remember, get your entrance in by Sunday, May 11th, because I need to take the time to go through them, and we need to pick ourselves a winner. Other than that, I want to thank Catalyst Gaming again for letting us be a part of their awesome network. Have a great weekend, and we will see everybody inside the Nexus.
Night
Goodbye.
already.
Good night.
Night.
Woo!
Night.
Fraggle
Take it easy,
Rock.
everyone.
And stop.
Yay.
Awesome. Woo!
There's a show.
We made it out
Yikes.
alive.
Made it out of the Nexus. See what I did there?
Yep. I see what you did there.
Wow, is there anybody in the chat room that's
Yes.
listening?
Oh,
There's a couple people in
excuse
there.
me. I
Yeah.
apologize.
Yeah.
Hey. Sorry, guys. I had a little bit of pina coladas.
Dude, it was so fun.
It wasn't quite.
It
Man,
made the episode so fun.
Next episode was the drinking episode.
No,
It was
sorry,
totally
guys. Like,
down.
I'm kind of like not like really on normal.
I was the
I
David
gave-
translator. It was fun. Because I knew exactly what you were talking about.
I gave you a lot of crap, but I loved every second of it and enjoyed
Yeah,
it.
Ben was tough on me. I'm like, holy
Dude.
shit.
He like created a meme.
Did you see your meme,
And
David?
I'm like, dude, I like that.
David, did you see your meme?
Did he? Is he gone?
Oh,
I
he's
get
still
it.
there, but I can't hear him.
Well, you know what?
There he is.
You know what
Hi,
I care
David.
about?
David, can you hear me?
Oh.
Oh, his video is just
Yeah,
off.
Josh? What?
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
Did
his
you see your
video's
meme?
lagging.
Yeah, what's wrong with your mic, man?
Nothing, it's you. You're the one lagging. Everyone
Your
else
your
says
voice
you're
and
lagging.
your mic are off.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, screw you
guys, his
Fine.
drunkenness is coming through Skype.
Yeah, it's translating into his internet.
My God.
You know what
you
that
guys,
means?
How old are you guys? What?
You know what that means?
Adam, I know Adam's like 29, 30. Adam, Ben, how old are you?
I'm
It's
25.
okay. It's okay.
25.
At least you didn't
Josh.
do what I do. So you guys.
Brandon's
missed this.
like 24. So
Yeah.
fuck, you guys should all be drunk tonight.
Yo, you
Fuck
guys
all
missed
of
this.
you.
So 2 weeks ago, I decided it would be a good idea to drink on stream and do a 24-hour stream at the same time.
Yep. It
Yeah.
did.
So turns out, at hour number 12, I'm like, I don't know, 9-10 beers in. I have a really solid buzz going on. Now
Yeah.
the problem is one of my buddies says, "Hey, let's do some ARAMs." And do you have any hard liquor? I said, "I don't think so." I go look in my fridge. I'm like, I got Soho. Like,
Oh no.
Lychee
Soho? You
liquor.
mean SoCo?
no, Soho. It's like a
Soho.
lychee. It's a lychee liqueur.
Oh.
So
Yeah,
I'm like,
lychee,
I got this. I
lychee.
guess.
It's not just a place in New York.
Yeah. So I'm like, I guess I got this. He's like, okay, we're gonna make a drinking game. Every time you die in this ARAM, you have to do a shot. I'm like, oh god, this is an ARAM. That's a bad idea. Ended up doing 10 shots in 17 minutes. I'm pretty sure I died because 10 minutes into the next game, I was throwing up in my bathroom and my stream was offline.
So Zia, an ARAM is an all random, all mid. But what it basically means is everybody gets a random character and you all go into one lane and fight. It's kind of just like a fun thing.
ARAM.
Oh
my God,
ARAM.
Zia.
Oh.
Well, and the worst part is Zia knows me well enough to know that I would make a joke like that, so she was probably just not sure because it was me. Oh my shit. ARAM is from the Middle East. He kills Xantar a lot. Only me though. He's not a terrorist because he only kills me.
Anyway, guys,
You gonna take off?
I'm gonna step away for a bit.
He's
Okay.
gonna refill his.
I gotta get back to. I got a Hearthstone back to B right now.
I gotta get my stream ready.
So I'm trying to decide what I'm gonna name the episode. It's gonna either be "I love you guys" because David said he loved us all at one point, or I'm gonna name it "If you like pina coladas."
Those are all good episodes.
All right, bye guys.
Okay, we're gonna take the stream down.
Take it easy, man.
I want to thank you for coming, everyone. Remember,
Come
put in-
hang out my stream if you guys aren't up to anything. I want to
go to his stream. Xantar should play Heroes. Just saying.
Yeah. Who
Maybe.
plays League of Legends anymore after having
I know,
Heroes?
right?
All right, see you guys.
Peace.
See ya.
Good night.